Well, streamers, welcome to the show, guys. And you know the drill. We're no longer live out of the Boss Hog Radio Network, which means fewer commercials for you guys. And it's going to be the Brett, Randy, and Chip show today. So looking forward to it, guys. So how's your week? And Randy, are you going back? Well, we got 6 minutes, by the way, before we go radio to our listeners and our viewers. But are you going back to Minneapolis at any point in time that you know of right now? Or
it's possible. It's possible. If we can be of service, we will. We're still talking to a number of the officers up there, and if we can do some good, we will.
All right. Yeah, they really got their work cut out for them. So,
ooh, a lot of work.
Oh yeah. So, anybody got big plans for the weekend?
I'm going to sleep till noon, smoke weed.
Whatever. We all know better than that. So.
All right. Which of the two am I not going to do, Chip?
Well, you are going to sleep. That's for
all right. That's a fair one. Yeah. I get up with the crack of noon.
Yeah, that's a given.
I tell you, Randy, we came back to Shaka. At least I was exhausted. It took me a couple of days just to kind of.
I believe it. Sure,
dude. I was trying to get caught up on emails, and I couldn't keep my eye open on the freaking plane. I mean, I had to sleep. And then we got this Yahoo sitting next to me with his freaking foot crossed and his bottom of his foot almost against my pants. And it's just like, then I had to get home. Then he's watching his phone, playing a video without any speakers or headphones in. So I had to say something to him about that. It's just.
People are freaking rude, man.
They are, man. Yeah. It's like taking a Greyhound bus nowadays.
Mm.
They bring their chicken dinner with them on the plane, and you hear a lot of ridiculous, man. I always take the aisle seat because I have a bladder with a sense of humor.
I try to, but occasionally I fly standby because I fly for free if I fly standby.
Oh, right.
And try to save the charity money, So you get that middle seat, and you're just, it is what it is.
So when you fly standby, Randy, are there times where you just had to go home because there was nothing?
Oh, I've gotten stuck in all over the country, really? And then wound up having to pay for a ticket anyway.
Yeah, I got it. So it's an adventure.
Hey, listen, if I can save $400 or $500 for the charity, I'd do it. But it's really inconvenient. It's really inconvenient.
Wow. Yep. Have you ever had to get a hotel room because you just make? Oh, you had to, huh? Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're rolling the dice.
Rolling the dice, exactly.
Since you're out in Vegas.
Yeah. But I made some incredible contacts from being up in Minneapolis, though.
Yeah, that's good.
Well, we may need that when I get that other thing I was talking to you about. Started. I think I suspect it's going to get really, really, really hot, really fast. Is what I'm hoping. So
I think when they write the history of all this, whether we win or they win, it's going to be called The Beginning Was in Minneapolis.
Well, it's not the beginning. This is a continuation.
Well, I should maybe not beginning, but the what am I looking for? The flashpoint, maybe. So let's say flashpoint.
Well, yeah. Yeah. So no, this is unprecedented.
Wow, poor guys.
So we're being invited to New Orleans by Sergeant George. So I love New Orleans. I'll tell you that.
I will be there in March.
Really? Oh, you will?
What you doing in March?
The food's great.
I'm going to go down there with some friends, and we're going to party.
You're going to drive your truck through a barricade or anything, or?
No, I'm going to smoke cigars and drink whiskey.
Okay, and then drive through a barricade.
They have some great, They have some great cigar bars down there.
Yeah, I want to go see the World War II museum there.
Oh, it's unbelievable! It's unbelievable. Really? Every American should go see that museum. It is incredible.
How many days does it take to go through it if you spend?
Oh my God, this place is massive. It's massive.
I may do that. Take my wife.
And they got a cool bar up there too, by the way.
See,
have you guys ever done the Holocaust Museum in DC?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
that is like one of those. It's kind of like watching The Passion of the Christ. You only want to do it once. It's so depressing.
It's a buzz killer, no doubt.
Oh boy!
Oh my gosh!
But it really didn't happen. Okay, guys.
Right.
Yeah.
It really didn't happen.
Right. It was all some lie. When I was there, last time. I think it was spring break, and a bunch of teenagers are just running. They should not let it. I've had this argument. They should not let children in there, because I don't think the children even begin to understand what happened. You can't understand that till you're a grown person. But
yeah, it's very humbling. I mean, it's wow. It just yeah. I'm preaching to the choir. I know, but yeah, everybody. I kind of feel like every cop should do Police Week at least once. That's just an experience you just have to do. The candlelight vigil is probably the most moving. I think by far the candlelight vigil. Number two might be the president's address. You know, on the 15th or the last day. But I love it.
Depends on who the president is.
That's for sure.
Yeah, you're right. I should have prefaced that by saying that, but yeah, you're right.
Because I've been to every single one of them. And I can tell you that Obama was ridiculous. Biden was ridiculous.
Yeah,
if he showed up.
Yep.
Yeah, you're right.
I went there when Trump was there at one time, and he called he called a lady out of the audience whose son was killed and gave her a big hug, and it was all unscripted. It's very
nice. Yeah.
On the radio, guys. Here we go.
All right.
All right, guys, welcome. Leo Roundtable at leoroundtable.com, the law enforcement talk show. My name is Chip DeBlock, and I'm your host, and we're a group of law enforcement professionals that talk about today's news and issues, but we do it from a law enforcement perspective. Let me introduce the crew. Guys, if you don't mind waiting for the video portion of our show, we have Captain Brett Bartlett, retired captain from the Tampa Police Department. He's also the founder of Exemplar Defense Solutions at exemplardefense.com. And of course, we all know it's 32 years of exemplary law enforcement experience. That's right. Don't forget that. Also, Lieutenant Randy Sutton actually has worked for a couple departments, but retired from Las Vegas Metro Police Department. And I believe, Randy, I think you're also around 32 years of law enforcement experience. Am I right on that?
34. I'm the senior officer here.
Oh, shoot. I stand corrected. So he's the founder of The Wounded Blue, thewoundedblue.org. So thanks so much for being back on the show, Randy.
You can have him.
And you know, it wasn't long. Last week we were all hanging out together on Thursday. A week ago today, right? We were all hanging out on Thursday. You know, so so love it.
Yeah, Randy was our gracious host. Got a lovely place there in Vegas.
Bourbon. He even had cigars on the. I didn't partake, but yeah, very good. And Dan Dela Cruz made it. So a shout out to our sponsors. Hey, our title sponsor, Galls at Galls.com. We also have CompliantTechnologies.com, our satellite sponsor, AeroPrecisionUSA.com, our arms sponsor. We have Gunlearn.com, my Medicare.live, Safeguard Recruiting, Two Bells, and FishOrlandoBass.com, where Zach is doing bass fishing charters out of Orlando, and he's also doing alligator hunting. You catch and relocate alligators. Amazing opportunity. FishOrlandoBass.com. A shout out to Brian Burns for the Tampa Free Press for carrying our content. Thanks, Brian. Also, Ray Dietrich, former lawman.com. That's Randy's friend. And also Travis Yates with lawofficer.com. Thanks to all those entities for helping make the show happen. And now, what in the world are we talking about today? Well, we got some great updates involving Minnesota, Minneapolis, what's going on. We're going to cover that first. Then we got a former Virginia governor, Youngkin, on his way out the door. He pardons an ex-police sergeant who was involved in a fatal shooting in 2023. And the guy ended up being unarmed. We're going to cover that. Then we have a K9. You know, I love the K9 bite videos. So K9 catches a fleeing Florida man wanted for drug trafficking only in Florida. And then we got the San Diego Police Department. There's a body-worn camera. There's a dude being shot by San Diego police officers. And we've also got, some other stuff as well. We've got a woman armed with a knife. She ends up being fatally shot by a Grand Forks County Sheriff's deputy, if we have time to get to that one. And then lastly, we've got Arkansas State Police Trooper fired after he pits the wrong car. Wow. That's just, and they got video for it. I don't know that I would have fired the dude.
That's a training thing. It's a training thing. Yeah,
it's a training thing. But there may be some other issues. But yeah. All right. So look, let's jump right into Minneapolis here. So my sources are in order, RVM News, which is RedVoiceMediaNews.com, the first two stories. Then we got the LibertyDaily.com, LawOfficer.com, WSJ, which is the Wall Street Journal.com, WashingtonExaminer.com, BorderHawk.news, and then finally the article that Randy sent me this morning, FoxNews.com. So Minnesota, these are the titles, and I'm not going to go too deep on this. I'm just going to do mostly headlines. I'm going to give a synopsis on a few of these. Minnesota police union leader blasts officials for blocking ICE cooperation after fatal protest. So it's not the Minneapolis Police Federation where Bob Kroll worked out. It's the St. Paul, they border each other, St. Paul, Minneapolis. St. Paul Police Federation President Mark Ross said that, but he's spot on. Local officials' resistance to coordination with the U.S. ICE and Border Patrol, it left federal officers isolated during violent demonstrations, which he believes could have been prevented with basic cooperation. He goes on to say that had the local police been allowed to assist with crowd control and coordination, quote, there would be no loss of life, unquote. Those are some serious words. Also, we have protesters storming whose office? Demanding ICE leave Minnesota. That would be Governor Tim Walz's office. So that made me smile. Then we got the DOJ, Pam Bondi. They named 16 anti-ICE rioters who ended up being arrested in a federal crackdown. Guys, we got cameras. They're going to come get you. The Department of Justice announced Wednesday that 16 anti-immigration and customs enforcement riders, they've been arrested in Minnesota for allegedly assaulting federal officers. Attorney Pam Bondi alleged on an ex post that the Minnesota riders have actively been resisting and impeding our federal law enforcement agents. And she added that the DOJ expects more arrests to come. So that is like an operation in progress. I love it. And then we got President Trump to de-escalate federal immigration to Minneapolis. So there has been a little pivot. And a lot of people are wondering why. He said that his administration is going to de-escalate its federal immigration operation in Minnesota. He signaled a tactical shift there. And of course, it happened after we had two people, and they were bad, a bad girl and a bad guy, killed in Minneapolis. And then we got Tom Homan. So when Trump did the pivot, he sends Tom Homan into Minneapolis. And they talk about this big reset is starting with Tom Homan. But here we have the Tom Homan, the White House border czar. He arrives with a series of demands when he meets with Minnesota's Democratic leaders. So that would be Governor Tim Walz, that would be Mayor Jacob Frey, and also Chief O'Hara. And topping the list is what he wants: an agreement from them to turn over more immigrants from the state's prisons and jails. People familiar with the matter said. And in other words, they wouldn't have to, they wouldn't have to no longer do the police function, because everything would be nice, organized, controlled, and just give them the people that have already broken law in the first place. Homan's task, the people said, is to secure what the administration count on as concessions from the state's Democrats. But several of these same Democrats have been subpoenaed by the Justice Department in exchange for because of what they've been doing in reference to this. But they're just trying to make a deal. The biggest notable change so far, according to the article, is that both sides appear to be talking. So at least they're communicating on this. But then, of course, not long ago, we saw Jacob Frey go on and say, hey, you know what? We're not cooperating. And then Homan hails a productive meeting, though, with Tim Walz and Jacob Frey after the Alex Preddy shooting. But I just told you what the mayor said. And then DHS investigating a woman who tried to buy a gun to kill ICE agents. And then finally, FoxNews.com, mob mentality endangers officers amid anti-ICE unrest and chaos in Minneapolis, retired cops warn. And I wonder who the retired cop is. Randy, Lieutenant Randy, why don't you take it?
I can tell you this, that article was the #1 article on Fox News 3 days ago and received about 2 million views in the first 2 hours.
Mm. Wow.
And I'll actually be on Fox News later this afternoon to talk about it.
I love it. I love it. We'll be watching. We're glued to Fox News, looking for you. I now I'm up to 2 TVs with your screen image burned on the TVs, Randy. So I'm running out of TVs.
But Fry, that little worm of a mayor, he's talking about cooperating with ICE. He has no say about it. The prisoners aren't in his custody. The jails are Hennepin County, and
good point.
And he's got nothing to say about it. He's the freaking mayor of Minneapolis. They don't have prisoners, and so, but of course, Hennepin County, they have that another goofy Soros funded DA, and the sheriff is this big. She's a joke too.
Yep.
So, but you notice you haven't even seen her.
You're right.
She's been silent during this whole thing. She's trying to keep herself from getting indicted too. And it's smart of her. It's smart of her. But they're the ones that, so I understand that the state prisons are now vowing to cooperate with ICE. So that's a good thing.
Agreed. Brett Bartlett.
Fry is the one that back during the, the reason for the summer love, he bent down on one knee and said, "Oh, I'm so broken. I'm broken." Oh, shut up. They're all thinking that Macron's wife is a chick. I think this guy is she's a dude. I think this guy is a chick. He is such a sissy. I can't. This guy's a little curly hair up front, right? I mean, anyway. They do this all for show. They're not going to stop anybody. Now, I saw this on another site. People are going, well, Trump capitulated. No, I don't think he did. If he had capitulated, he wouldn't be sending Tom Homan to Minneapolis. Tom Homan he's rough and he's gruff and he's going to get out there and get the job done. I think he has, and this other site said he's changing his tactics. Now he says, okay, I won't do street sweeps. All I want for you guys to do is turn over your criminal illegal immigrants. And what are they going to say? No.
Yeah, that's exactly what they'll say.
Yeah,
no,
I agree.
They've done it before, but I think that they may capitulate this time. Now, let's look at the reality of what's going on there too. Just the other day, right? The Minneapolis Police Department actually and the sheriffs actually gave a dispersal order. They called it an unlawful assembly. This is where the other ICE guy, the guy that was there that Homan replaced, they believed he was staying in this hotel.
Oh yeah.
And they basically laid siege to the hotel.
We covered that yesterday. Yeah, video and everything.
So this time though, they allowed law enforcement to do what law enforcement is supposed to do. And they declared an unlawful assembly, and they actually arrested people, and that was the end of that.
Wow.
That's the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah. There's still no curfew, no outlawing or banning, facial coverings or anything like that. If they really wanted this thing to go away overnight, they could. Guys, we got 13 seconds. We're going to go to the commercial break. We'll be right back. All right, guys, it's time to talk about Galls at Galls.com. And as police officers, we know we can buy our gear from a lot of different sources. When you throw the online option, it's like limitless, right? But I want to remind everybody about what's really important here. It's about supporting the companies that actually support law enforcement. And I don't know of a company that does it better than Galls at Galls.com. And even their motto is proud to serve those who serve, which of course they do in spectacular fashion. And not only that, they walk the talk. And supporting dozens of organizations, like I said, like this radio show. So when you're looking for gear, please support our title sponsor by going to Galls at Galls.com. And we're not done. They're going to do you one better. For the loyal listeners of the show, they've got a radio code that'll get you 15% off most purchases. It's radio 15. So type in radio 15 in order to get 15% off most purchases at Galls.com. Hold on to that code. What a great opportunity. And they have gift cards. Hook up your family, friends, and loved ones with the new Galls gift card, and they will be your new best friends. And again, you can accomplish all that getting everything except for guns and ammo at Galls.com. All right, now it's time to talk about Compliant Technologies at CompliantTechnologies.com. We all know about the glove, but then there are other things too. In today's world, protection goes beyond physical safety. It's about safeguarding those on the front lines from what we call hidden threats. And that's where MyTech, which is a division of Compliant Technologies, comes in. Now, MyTech provides advanced protective solutions designed for law enforcement, corrections, and first responders. Their Eagle Protect nitrile gloves, they offer 4-hour fentanyl and saline protection, giving you peace of mind in high-risk environments. And their MyShield disinfectants and sanitizers, they actually eliminate 99.9% of germs, bacteria, and viruses on contact, and they continue to kill for up to 28 days, helping you stay protected both on and off duty. So when safety is non-negotiable, you can trust MyTech to deliver the protection that you need, and you can learn more about how to equip your team today by simply going to CompliantTechnologies.com/MyTech. Again, that's CompliantTechnologies.com/MITEK, because the best defense starts with the right protection. CompliantTechnologies.com. All right, guys, we got 2 minutes before we come back to the radio portion of the show.
Well, so what do we do?
Yeah, that's a good question. What do we do?
Okay. I am.
Let me just mention the contest for people that are watching the stream right now. So, and Brett was there. So we have got the Glove Challenge, which benefits Randy's 501c3, The Wounded Blue, at thewoundedblue.org. So during SHOT Show, myself and panelist Travis Yates, retired major from the Tulsa Police Department, he's also on the board of directors for the Wounded Blue. we both got gloved. It was taped and timed. So the winner will be announced at the after February the 28th, after the end of February. So probably, March 1st will be a Sunday. So I'd say maybe watch for that, like March the 2nd on Monday of that being announced. And so whenever they tell us who won, the guy that lasted the longest without complying while being administered the glove, he's going to get a free pair of gloves. They got over $1,700 value. And the guy that donates to that person, whether it's me or Travis, and the most amount of money, they also win a pair of gloves. And the gloves can only be owned by an agency, so you'll be able to donate. So Travis wins a pair of gloves, he would donate them to the Tulsa Police Department. If I did, it would be the Tampa Police Department more than likely. But even as a civilian, you'll win and you can donate them to an agency. And it's just a great way for the glove to get in the door of an agency. And in the meantime, the funds being raised by the Wounded Blue, they're going to a fantastic cause. So we're trying to get more people to enter that contest. So if you do go to the landing page, where it's going to be updated. But if you go to thewoundedblue.org, go under the event section, you'll see a banner there or a graphic. You have to click on the graphic to go to the donation page. Type in either my name or Travis's name when you make a donation, and you're betting on the winner is what you're doing in order to win a pair of the gloves. Guys, we're going back to radio. Here we go. All right, guys, welcome back. Leo Roundtable at leoroundtable.com, the law enforcement talk show. My name is Chip the Block, and I'm your host. We're joined by Captain Brett Bartlett, and we've also got Lieutenant Randy Sutton. And Brett, any final words on the last topic, Minneapolis, before we go to the update story?
No, I'm just concerned about how it's going to end up. It's historic. We will be reading about this. Children will be reading about this in school decades from now.
I agree. I hinted yesterday, actually early in the week, maybe it even been on Monday, where Leo Roundtable, we're going to be getting involved in this, and there's something that we've got planned that we're going to be doing, but I don't want to spill the beans until we implement it. But something's going on that everybody listening to the show or watching shows going to want to participate in, and we're going to need your help in order to make this thing work. But it will drastically help the effort that's going on in Minneapolis. So stay tuned for that announcement. We're trying to get this accomplished as soon as possible. So if you guys are ready, we've got our update story, apnews.com. Former Virginia Governor Youngkin, he pardons an ex-police sergeant in the fatal 2023 shooting of an unarmed man. Now, days before his term ended, Virginia Republican Governor Glenn Youngkin, he pardoned a former Fairfax County police officer who was convicted in a fatal shooting of an unarmed man that was accused of stealing sunglasses at a mall. Now, according to this newly released report, the sergeant, it's Wesley Shiflett, he received an absolute pardon on January the 15th from the governor. The pardon comes amid nationwide debate over legal protections for law enforcement personnel and when use of force, including deadly force, is justified. Now, less than a year ago, Governor Youngkin, he granted Shiflett clemency in the case, throwing out his 3-year prison sentence. And we're not done. The here's a quote from the governor. The deadly force used by Sergeant Wesley Gonzalez Shiflett on February the 22nd, 2023, it was both lawful and consistent with the department's policy and training. Now, he wrote that in the pardon, which is maybe making you guys scratch your head on why he was convicted. Now, Shiflett was convicted in 2024, and the conviction was for reckless firearm use in the killing of Timothy McCree Johnson, which was in Northern Virginia. And he was acquitted of a manslaughter charge, but they got him for the reckless firearm charge. The former sergeant chased Johnson out of a mall parking deck into a wooded area. There is body cam. During the trial, they showed Shiflett yelling, "Get on the ground," and then he fired 2 shots at Johnson 2 seconds later. After the shots were fired, Shiflett immediately shouted, "Stop reaching," and told other officers that he saw our bad guy putting his hand in his waistband. And during the trial, the officer testified that his motor functions were operating more quickly than he could vocalize or verbalize. And after that, Johnson can be heard saying in the body cam video, "Hey, I'm not reaching for nothing. I don't have nothing." Of course, you just hear him saying that. Doesn't mean that it's accurate. Governor Youngkin based his pardon on a report released by the department back in April, concluding that Shiflett's actions were objectively reasonable because he thought Johnson, the bad guy, remember the shoplifter, posed a significant threat of death or serious bodily injury to him when he used deadly force. So that's the way that went down. He pardoned this dude out of office. Do you guys suspect it was because of a potential blowback from that, Randy?
Well, this guy never should have been convicted of anything. This was once again the liberal left,
agreed,
doing what they do. And thank God that that Youngkin did this, because this new governor in Virginia is as radical as they come. She's already instituted anti-law enforcement legislation, anti-public safety. She is as radical as they get. So if Youngkin had not done that, this guy would never have received justice. So good on him.
All right. Brett?
Well, speaking of her last name, Spanberger, she is making moves against the Virginia Military Institute. And basically, I think she wants to do away with that very, very historic institution. Now, back to this case. Okay. And we know how that the media skews everything, because everybody that watches a YouTube video thinks they're an expert on a shooting. So here's the headline, right? AP, pardoned ex-police sergeant in fatal shooting of unarmed man. That's unarmed man. So you go into the very first paragraph, it says that the guy was accused of stealing sunglasses at a mall. And that's all that really says. So what is a person thinking? Oh my gosh, this guy should be in jail. But the problem is it's very difficult to explain what really goes on to an audience whose life revolves around a 4-minute YouTube video, because they don't want to hear the facts. They don't want to dig into the science, right? Right. And we've read these books. We got one in Las Vegas last week from Dr. Jamie. It's an inch thick, and that's just breaking the surface of what people need to know to take a look at these events. So I'm not surprised, but I'm so glad that young man is going to be released, or has been released.
Yeah.
Well, and now with the pardon, he can go become a cop again.
Yep.
Oh, good point. Good point.
If anybody will hire him, that's going to be the problem.
Well, yeah. Randy, they hire these little agencies. You've seen all across the country. They hire these guys that shouldn't be hired.
Yeah.
Right. They keep hiring them over and over, and they can't understand why they get in trouble. But yeah, you're right. This guy who didn't do anything wrong, who has an official pardon, yeah, he'll probably never see it again.
Well, one for the good guys. Well, if you all are ready, let's get some stories with video components, and let's start off with the K9, my favorite. Rumble.com.
As soon as I saw that, I knew that this was going to be your favorite. That's why it's the lead-off video.
So this is Butter, and again, our favorite law enforcement video channel. K9 catches a fleeing Florida man wanted for drug trafficking. So we're in Bellevue, Florida. So a Marion County K9 ends up tracking and catching this wanted felon, or this wanted man in Florida on Saturday. He was running from law enforcement during an attempted traffic stop in Bellevue. And this is according to the Marion County Sheriff's Office. Now, we've only got about a minute before we take our next commercial break, so I'm going to try to get through as much of this as I can. So a deputy attempted to locate this guy. Bad guy's name is George Jones. He's wanted for trafficking of methamphetamine, 5 counts of failure to appear, and the deputies locate his vehicle, and they try to do a traffic stop, and he flees. Now, the vehicle he was in, it eventually stopped. He climbs out of the back seat. He runs, and unfortunate for him, it was a K9 corporal and a K9 chasing him, and the K9's name is Gunner. You gotta love that. And so Gunner apprehends Jones before deputies catch up to do the arrest thing. We got a video footage of Gunner biting Jones and biting his arm, and they're giving him command to show your hands, show your hands. And when they finally take the dog off, you can see him bleeding from the arm and stuff, but they get him handcuffed. We're gonna cover this in great detail and with great joy when we come back from commercial break. We'll be right back. All right, guys, introducing Aero Defense by Aero Precision at aeroprecisionusa.com. A beacon of durability dependability, and all-American craftsmanship in the realm of duty rifles. And yes, we're talking about long guns. They're born from an aerospace engineering company, so you know these guys know what they're doing. And Aero Defense by Aero Precision demands perfection because settling for anything less is not an option when your life is on the line. You can visit aeroprecisionusa.com for a lineup that matches every discipline because they basically have something for everybody. And you know, way back since 1994, they've been quietly leading the air builder parts domain, but now they're making waves in the complete rifle arena with soulless bolt actions. And that's not all. Their M4E1 Pro and the Mod 4 handguards, they hit the market already at aeroprecisionusa.com, the embodiments of duty rifle excellence, but now they're being tailored for the civilian customer. That means that now you guys can get your hands on the Primo stuff and their M5 AR 3-weight platform spectacular. Don't settle for less when you can have the best. Head over to aeroprecisionusa.com. All right, we got 4 minutes, guys, before we come back to the radio portion of the show. All right.
Yeah, I'm on the criminal side in that video.
You're on the criminal side?
Yeah.
Are you?
Yeah, when we start talking about it, I'll tell you why. I want to leave you in suspense. Did you see that somebody posted, I don't know if it was Facebook, Fran PLMB, pigs go back to England.
Yeah.
I think it was what they call that, a spoofer or a scammer. What do you call that guy?
A bot?
A bot, yeah.
Yeah, well, I don't think so. I mean, I saw the hearts and some of the other, there were like a couple other postings which didn't make any sense, but the pigs go back to England.
Good. I don't know what pig she's talking about, but good. Send them back to England.
Yeah, we don't
England is taking everything else nowadays anyway. You might as well go back to England.
Nope.
It'll be the Islamic Republic of Englandistan before too long.
Yeah, no kidding.
Oh, getting taken over.
Yep.
All right, so I had a blast. Is this the first time Brett and I have been on a show together since we got back from Vegas? You know, Brett hosted 2 shows. That was Wednesday and Thursday. You did great, Brett.
That was quite the surprise. I said, I'm going to do what?
Yeah. Oh no, dude, you used to do this all the time before we went live radio.
You know, I don't like being around people, Chip. I think you know that.
Yeah. So what about our surprise guest that we had on the show on Thursday?
Ted Nugent.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that video. Have you posted that video?
I have not. I've got I've got screenshots of it that I'm going to put out there.
Yeah, I'd like to see a screenshot at least.
But I picked the best one because he put his head right in front of Travis Yates' head, and Travis is the one that invited him over, you know. But I've got one that where Ted Nugent smiling, and you can see all the Travis and the other. And God bless you, and the other people as well. So.
Yeah, that was quite. I saw Travis, because he doesn't care where he's at. He'll say hi to anybody. So he's waving, "Hey, come here." And I thought, who the heck's he talking? I saw this clot of people, and I saw the guy approach. And as soon as he got a table, I realized it was Ted Nugent. And he stuck his hand around and he flipped somebody off when he left camera. He flipped somebody off.
He did a double flip.
Was that what it was? I think he was flipping off the anti-police something. I don't know how that came out.
The feds. He made a comment, and you can't. He's moving his lips and he's talking, but I'm just going off of memory now because he was like right there, and he came up from behind me, so I didn't even know who was coming up. But he said something about them trying to indict him, arrest him, like in Miami, Broward County area, and then he said that he beat the feds, and then he did the double bird flip.
I didn't hear that part.
Yeah, something like that, and I don't remember. I looked up, I couldn't find that story. About him getting cleared on stuff, but
I never heard that at all. You think if that was true, that was going to be in the radio or the news somewhere, but I've never seen it.
Yeah, unless he was joking, but it was but then again, I was just trying to think. I didn't really recognize him, so I wasn't exactly sure who he, if he was really Ted Nugent or what, so anyhow. Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah, it was fun.
We missed you at the show, Randy.
Well, I was doing my duty in Minneapolis.
Right. You were. So.
Well, Chip, my pastor at church saw it and he goes, "Hey, I see you guys are right by the men's room." I said, "Well, that was for me."
That was right. Yeah, we had a lot of traffic. That's for sure.
The only way that could have gotten any better is if we'd had a little gate behind the table that led right to the men's restroom. That would be perfect. But it was, we got a good deal. The guy that had that table, he didn't show up, so they gave that to us. Yeah,
it worked out. And hopefully we'll be hooked back up again next year. 5 seconds, guys. Going back to radio. Here we go. All right, guys, welcome back. Leo Roundtable at leoroundtable.com, the law enforcement talk show. My name is Chip DeBluck, and I'm your host. We're joined by Captain Brett Bartlett and also Lieutenant Randy Sutton. We left off talking about an article or story with a video component. Canine catches fleeing Florida man that's wanted for drug trafficking. This happened in Bellevue, Florida, and it's the jurisdiction of the Marion County Sheriff's Office. And so our canine gunner catches the bad guy. We've got aerial footage of this. With like it was I can't remember if it was infrared and or thermal, but it was still pretty spectacular. Then we got body cam of when the cop catches up with the canine. You hear, he could have been blindfolded and got there because you can just hear the bad guy screaming so loud that he was easy to find. And the dog didn't release until just about the time they got this guy handcuffed. And so the body camera footage on that during the investigation. The driver's not the same as the bad guy that bailed. The driver told the deputies that when the traffic stop was attempted, that our bad guy, that fled and got bit by the canine, that he told her, don't stop the car. And he actually threatened to stab her with a friggin' knife while she's driving, and fleeing the cops. So the sheriff's office said that Jones was arrested. He was transported to the Marion County Jail. It doesn't say if they did a detour by the hospital first for stitches from the canine. But in addition to his outstanding warrants, he was charged with false imprisonment, resisting without violence, and possession of drug paraphernalia, according to the Marion County Sheriff's Office. Brett, why don't you start us off on this one?
Well, yeah, I mentioned before, I was for the bad guy, and I kind of let that go. I'm for the bad guy only at the point where the dog starts eating him, and they're giving him commands to show your hands.
Yeah. Or put your hands behind your back. Yeah.
I'm not going to put my hands behind my back while the dog's eating me. I'm not going to do it.
We need to do a scenario like that.
Yeah,
Brett,
let's do that.
Have you be the subject.
And he did go to the hospital so that they could, after the dog ate him, the dog could poop him out into a bedpan under controlled circumstance. That's why they took him there. But I don't know. I think maybe that they should pull the dog off and gave the guy a chance to follow the orders, because I'm telling you, I'm not going to follow a canine orders when the dog's biting me. It's just, I think the natural reaction is just to protect yourself no matter what condition you're in.
You see, I thought you were going to say, I really thought you were going to say, I think that they should take the dog off and give him an opportunity to run again. Let the dog do his thing. That would be great, dude. If they had a policy like that, can you imagine?
Why do I put up with you?
Having clips over and over of the same guy getting bit by the same dog, but it happens over and over again. Could you imagine how entertaining that could be?
You're a hater.
I just look, we need tougher guys. We need tougher dudes in Florida. I mean, how many scars do you and I have, Brett, from canines biting us? I mean, I'm assuming you have them.
I managed to not get my mouth in front of the canine, but you go ahead and tell me your story.
Well, dude, that was my dog that bit me in the lip. But I mean, Jimmy Menendez's dog, Lancer, I got some great scars on my arm from that dog. But come on, Florida dudes, toughen up. Don't scream like a little girl when you're getting bit by a little canine.
I'm going to scream, especially if he's biting around the jungle area. Right.
Yeah. The little femoral.
Yeah. The little guy's going to, you know what, pal, we're going to survive this. You need to start screaming right now. If you want to use me again, you better start screaming right now.
See, I like to see Randy go to like a canine training day, and he just walks in the midst of these canines, but he smells like cat, right? He's got like 4 cats,
right.
And just watch the drama, see what happens,
Yeah, it's not just cat.
There's my girl.
It's cat's butt.
That's a boy. Yeah. Okay.
Oh. All right, I didn't know. So I think I pet that one when I was there. All right, Randy, any commentary?
So, if you did you guys catch this during the pursuit? The canine officer passes all the cops. Did you see that?
I didn't pick up on it, but I believe you.
That's what it looked like. It looked like he passed like 5 different police cars in the pursuit, and I was trying to figure out. Why would he want to become the primary? I wondered if you guys caught that as well.
I mean, I'm assuming because the dog had already been released, so I'm assuming because he wanted to make sure his dog was okay, not getting stabbed or anything by the
No. This was during when the pursuit was still on.
Yeah, but had the dog already been released though, right?
No, this is when the vehicle pursuit was still on.
The vehicle. Oh, okay. I thought you meant running that. Okay, I get it. Okay. Well, you didn't say vehicle. Okay, I get it.
I understood your end.
We got a vehicle pursuit and we got a foot pursuit.
Thank you, Brett. Thank you.
Apparently, I need to go back to school. So All right, guys. Well, look, thanks. We got time for another one, and so let's take this one. This also has a video component. We're still at Rumble.com, our favorite law enforcement video channel again, called This Is Better. So we've got the SDPD, which stands for San Diego Police Department. So we're going to pop over to California. They released body cam video hours after a man was shot by a San Diego police officer. So it's La Presa, California. According to the office of San Diego Police Department, they got a call regarding a stolen vehicle. It's about 12:40 in the afternoon. It's the middle of the afternoon. When an officer spots the vehicle, he makes an attempt to pull it over. Of course, we know what happens. The driver fails to stop. Now we got a pursuit. Not a foot pursuit, a vehicle pursuit. So I said that, Randy, for you. So when an officer spots the vehicle, that pursuit starts. So they have an officer deploy spike strips in an attempt to stop the vehicle. He drives over the spike strips, continues eastbound. Now he crashes into a light pole, jumps out of the car. Officers observe an item that appeared to be a firearm near the suspect. So he is like down on his knees. He's I believe he was facing away from the officers, but you can see that gun on the ground. And the officers are telling him, hey, don't go for the gun. I got some notes I'll get to in a second, but one officer ends up firing his weapon, striking the suspect. He's taken to the hospital with serious but non-life-threatening injuries. When I go to my show notes, they're telling him that he will be, they first say something about, they first say he'll be shot if he reaches for a nearby weapon. And then later on, they say, hey, now we're going to tase you if you don't get on the ground. And he ends up going for the gun at 57 seconds into it, and then he gets shot. Commentary, Randy, you want to start us off?
Yeah, you could hear the communication between the officers when they saw the weapon, and one of them, because it was hard to see, and one of them says, "Is that a gun?"
Yeah,
and the other guy said, "Is that a real gun?" And by the way, there was nothing in the article that said it was a real gun. I don't think it was. And I read that article, and there was no mention of the fact if it was a real weapon or not. So when I looked at the close up of the photograph of it, it didn't look like a real weapon to me. But of course, at that distance, you can't tell. So the officer is perfectly justified in doing what he did. That was, that was play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, guys, interesting commentary. Brett, did you have anything on that or anything more?
I noticed that again. We're only seeing this part of the video that you show us, but there were officers there. Then another officer came up. Looked like he came into the scene. He's the one that started talking. I don't know if he was a supervisor. I don't know if he was the unranked leader of the group, but he was the only one talking, and he gave pretty good commands. Guys, do this, do that. But somebody was yelling, "I will taser if you don't." But then he didn't. Then they didn't taser him. And I still teach at the academy, and I teach these kids, don't give a command if you're not going to enforce the command. It's useless talk. But then he started reaching for the device. Real gun or not, doesn't matter. But this one officer is the only one that shot that guy, but they're all seeing the same thing.
Yeah.
So I just wonder if, for whatever reason, all of them there were deferring everything to this one officer.
Yeah, that's true. You're 100% right. That was... And I heard the same thing, the taser, and it was not deployed. I don't know who was saying it, but yeah, it looked like they were already on the scene when that guy showed up, and I think he was the last one there and took command. So you're right. He may have been the sergeant.
Well, guys, I think it's 2 minutes. We'll have to do this fast. Rumble.com. This is Better the channel. Arkansas State Police Trooper ends up being fired after he pitched the wrong car. So Little Rock, Arkansas. I'm going to go through this really quick. The trooper has been terminated, mistakenly reformed. They call it their tactical vehicle intervention, so TVI, but it's really a pit maneuver. He did it in the wrong car during a pursuit. So he ends up doing a traffic stop. And the guy, he walks up to the car. He's conversing with the driver. And then the dude ends up speeding away. So the trooper turns his back. He's not looking at the speeding car, but you can see it on the dash cam, gets in his cruiser, and now he's trying to catch up with it. Well, he gets behind the wrong freaking car. It's an SUV, and that SUV is getting off of the exit ramp, and it's a female driver, and he ends up pitting her and gets out at gunpoint and then realizes it's the wrong freaking vehicle. He's apologetic and stuff, but they ended up firing him for that. Commentary, guys, we got 1 minute. Randy?
It was like, what are you doing? And I say maybe this was a training issue, but I don't know if you can fix that guy, because it was. I mean, you were chasing the car.
Right.
It wasn't like you came in the middle of the pursuit, and it was and it's hard to even justify that he did that. So maybe that there may have been many other training issues involved here, or in his in his performance, that this was like the final straw.
You may be on to something. Well, guys, we're coming up on our next commercial break. Stick with us. We'll be right back. All right, guys, it's time to talk about GunLearn at gunlearn.com. And as law enforcement officers, we deal with guns every day, but it's what we don't know about them that gets us into trouble. Injuries, civil lawsuits, accidental discharges, misidentifications, lost prosecutions, and also disciplinary issues. But gunlearn.com, they have your back. You can quickly become extremely firearm knowledgeable by simply learning 14 training modules from the convenience of your home or your office, or by attending a live seminar at gunlearn.com. You can also become a certified, safe, accurate, and competent leader in the field, and it's called a certifying firearm specialist. Now, the course has had huge success in raising the bar of firearm knowledge, and GunLearn has been a trusted source since 2011 by gun manufacturers, federal agencies, forensic organizations, and police departments nationwide. Now, here's the deal. The founder, Daniel Kelly, has got a deal for you if you have your own agency. If you're a police chief or a sheriff, you can actually host a seminar for absolutely no cost. It's an amazing opportunity. You can go to gunlearn.com to get more information. Again, that is gunlearn.com. And we got 2 minutes before we come back to radio. All right. Good job, Brett.
Yep.
And, well, we're 3/4 of the way through. Wow.
Yay. Oh, I'm tired.
So, Brian Spencer, good to see you on Facebook. I believe retired sheriff, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. And everybody else, I'm going to pop over here the Rumble as well. Yeah, we got guys like some guys are tearing it up on the MVS is saying the dog was hungry. I have several dog bites and scars. MVS says that he does too. And yeah, Bill BC's jumping in the conversation. And Bill made a comment about Arkansas State Police. They have good pursuit videos. Man, those dudes are famous for pitting in Arkansas. Oh my gosh, they're like freaking. They're the best pitters.
Are they the pit master?
They are. They are. They've got some great videos out there.
I tell you, I didn't have time to say it, but I saw that young trooper leaning into that car, putting his arms on the door. You don't lean into the murder hole, right?
Yeah.
If the officer's doing it right, the person never really sees all their face, but maybe that's maybe just a wonder right there.
So Bill BC said, remember the Mohammedan officer that shot Justine Damon in 2017 in Minneapolis? That was actually Noor. He was Somali. He was from Somalia, and it was what was his name? It was Moore or Noor. Yeah, his last name.
I think it was Noor. I think it was Noor.
He clammed up and he just wouldn't talk, and yeah, I had no sympathy for that guy.
One of those stories at the beginning, the 16 arrested, was this Somali lady that was on TV being interviewed, saying that she got beat up by ICE, right. But that was a big lie.
5 seconds. Here we go.
1, 2.
She lied?
3.
Come on.
It's true.
All right, guys, welcome back. Leo Roundtable at leoroundtable.com, the law enforcement talk show. My name is Chip the Block, and I'm your host. We're joined by Captain Brett Bartlett and Lieutenant Randy Sutton, and we've been talking about a use of force, and they're pretty sensational here. But this last one was pretty interesting. Randy, I think your mic is open. I know you were talking about it. You want to kind of refresh the audience about the scenario that we're talking about and finish your commentary?
I don't even remember what we were talking about.
Well, your mic's open, so I figured you wanted to talk. No?
I don't want to talk. I don't even want to talk to you.
Oh, all right. So, Brett, any commentary?
No, second on that.
All right. So, look, we're going to move on then, and we're gonna leave this this last one, and we got one more commentary or one more story with a video component. So, a woman armed with a knife is fatally shot by a Grand Forks County Sheriff's deputy. Okay, so that is we're taking the story from rumble.com, and again, another story from This Is Butter. That is going to be our favorite law enforcement video channel. So on this particular one, and I've got some show notes as well. It starts off by saying, hey, I'm going to be holding them hostage until you guys deal something with these groups that keep killing. And that's what Alice Nestal, 47 years old, said in a 911 call from an apartment. And so that's what she's saying now. It is Grand Forks, North Dakota. And the county prosecutor ruled that Deputy Cameron Bridger had no other choice and said the shooting was justified. So it continues to say that she told the dispatcher that she was temporarily staying with a man who rented the apartment. And she said, get over here, somebody. She's going to kill me. And this is what the guy's saying. And the hostage could be heard yelling to police through the apartment door. Now, when they first get there, they can hear this guy in the apartment saying that he's being held hostage and that the female had a knife and was threatening to stab him. But on the outside of the apartment, police have got a drone and they spot a yellow-handled knife described as a box cutter that was on the table. But they also noted that there was no indication that the guy was being held hostage by the female. And the knife was on the table, but she didn't seem to have a weapon at the time. And he is walking around willingly in the apartment without being restricted by her. And so they relay that to the cops that are on the outside of the doorway that are actually on scene. The dispatcher had several conversations with this caller on the phone, and the hostage taker never indicated why she held the man hostage. She constantly talked about shootings and people being killed, but made no specific references. So we don't know whether this is about a Minneapolis thing or anything. And here's another quote saying, I've already told you this is the third call you called me, and something needs to happen because I will not let him leave. So she's calling saying that, wanting some kind of law enforcement response. About 10 minutes after arriving, you can hear her barricading the door from the outside. And then a short time later, she's seen picking up the knife off the table. And then a few minutes later, the lights are turned off in the apartment. The victim reappears. Now he's wearing a jacket. He tries to leave the apartment, and she's running after him now via the drone video. And then prosecutors say that she slams the door shut and locks the deadbolt. So now we go to the body cam video where we got cops on the inside of the doorway, and they end up kicking the door in. And when they get inside the apartment, she actually has the knife up to the male victim's, the left side of his neck. And that's when the Grand Forks County Sheriff's Office Deputy Cameron Bridger ends up shooting her several times. Of course, he got cleared on that, but it ended up being a hostage situation. Captain Brett.
The first thing, very, very cool use of drones. They're becoming more and more popular and more useful. And people need to be careful when they're trying to kick open a door. You will ruin yourself if you try to kick open a door like that. And he was screaming, oh, it's barricaded. No, it wasn't, man. It was just a lock, and you're just a dude. You know, they need to bring the SWAT key and open that door. My last comment is, as soon as that guy pulled the trigger, he was telling radio that there were shots fired. Everybody knows shots were fired. Everybody knows it. Let's at least let the bad guy hit the ground before you start screaming shots fired. That's absolute. It's a distraction from his attention to the situation. I wish cops would quit doing that.
Yeah, you know, there's some guys are better door kickers than others, you know, but yeah, there was a little bit of difficulty there. But also, you know, when you're kicking in a door, you want to get right where the mechanism is, right where the bolt is. That's where you want to kick. That's your best opportunity to get that thing to breach. And so he was going a little further away from that bolt than I would have. But Randy Sutton.
So from the 911 calls, you could tell that she was a complete nutcase. And I think that the response was exactly what they had to do. And the use of the drone, you got it right, Brett, man. That little piece of intelligence information was absolutely vital to this. They would have been completely, blind without it. So that was a really good use of the drone. And you're right. I mean, departments that are using this type of technology, it's life-saving stuff, and it's really a benefit. So kudos to them for utilizing it. When she turned the lights off, they didn't have any choice. I mean, I thought that, when it was beginning, I thought, listen.
Yeah, I think we lost Randy, but good commentary. I wonder how many people have drones, Brett. Do you have any idea how many agencies have drones now?
No, I don't. No, I don't. Of course, the big news across the country is DJI drones have been banned, and I don't know if most agencies use a more expensive drone or not, but that's going to cause some problems.
Yeah, I agree. You know, we need a good drone sponsor for the show because more agencies need to use them like this. So, is your audio working yet again?
Yeah.
Right.
So my final comment was when she turned the lights off, they had no choice. They had to go in, and that was pretty good shooting, I must say. Although you know that guy feels bad about having to shoot this crazy woman because it's just one of those things. You don't have any choice when you got a hostage like that. For him to take that action, he had to be very confident in his shooting abilities, and he did take care of business.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, I'd love, it's kind of like, we want to see more long guns with law enforcement when they have, when they get calls and incidents, and it kind of gives you more options of what you can do. And I'm not talking about less lethal. I'm talking about long guns, for lethal force. But of course, you're a lot more accurate and you take care of business from a further distance. But these drones, we're seeing more and more videos now we had the canine video. That was drone, right? I mean, you got a canine running through the woods. How in the world are you going to know what's going on? Especially when the canine partner, that's wearing the body cam is nowhere to be seen yet. So yeah, the drone footage that we're seeing in these two stories was great. And this drone video helped save the life of the male that was being taken hostage by the by the female. So I agree. So I'm actually talking to a couple of drone companies right now. So we'll see what happens, but yeah, it's the wave of the future. And now the larger agencies that are getting drone programs, they actually have people assigned to the drone unit. I don't know, Brett. I mean, what's going. I don't know if you know what's going on with Tampa.
Tampa has a drone unit. Plant City has a drone unit. I've seen their stuff in action. It's pretty amazing.
Okay.
And it's almost not nowadays. Now that it's out there, it's you put yourself in a liable situation if you don't have it.
Well, yeah, it's kind of like
given a certain budget that you have to deal with. But yeah, it's like the glove. It's like all these things that are coming up. You need to have that stuff.
There's a drone product that I believe it's on the shoulder of the officer, and when you get out of your car, it deploys and it sends and it sends a video feed back to the command center, like the communication center, the dispatch center, and it sends them a live feed of what's going down. But the drone is able to perceive any potential threats, like an ambush or something like that. But it launches, and so
I've seen military people do exactly that. I don't know how a police agency could afford that.
Well, it's incredible. I don't know how many people are using it, but of course you're not watching to monitor. You're having to focus on what you're doing, but dispatch can tell you what the drone.
That's wild. I have not seen that.
Yeah, I'll try to find it. But I remember seeing that. Yeah, very, very, very cool.
Las Vegas is now deploying. They now have drones on buildings that are ready to be deployed at any moment. So it is really advanced stuff, and they're using it really, really effectively.
I love it. Yeah, definitely the wave of the future. Well, guys, another fantastic show. Lieutenant Randy Sutton with the Wounded Blue at thewoundedblue.org. And guys watching the show, don't forget about the glove challenge. If you want to win a pair of the gloves for yourself, all you have to do is go to thewoundedblue.org and go to the event section. You'll see a thing about the glove challenge. Click on that graphic. You'll be taken to a donation page. Make a donation to the Wounded Blue. Put either my name, Chip the Block, or Travis Yates' name. And you're betting to see which one of us lasts the longest when we had the glove applied back at SHOT Show. And if you donate the most amount of money in the name of the person that actually won, that person that won, and then you that donate the most, you'll each get a free pair of the gloves. It's over $1,700 value. You'll have to donate them to an agency, but that's the way it works. The Wounded Blue at thewoundedblue.org. Hey, I also want to mention our sponsors again. Galls at galls.com, complianttechnologies.com, aeroprecisionusa.com. We have gunlearn.com, mymedicare.live, safeguardrecruiting.com, twobells.com, and fisherlandobass.com with Zach. Thanks for watching the show. We'll see you guys back tomorrow, 12 noon Eastern. And we're going to keep it going for another minute and a half. Randy, I know that you got something coming up. Is it Laura Ingraham is where you're going to be at, or who are you going to be with Fox today?
Yeah, so I've got two national news interviews today, At 6 o'clock, I'll be on One America News, and at 7 o'clock, this is Eastern time. I'm scheduled for Laura Ingraham.
Okay, sweet. I'm gonna try to get a Leo Roundtable shirt overnighted to you. Maybe you know.
Oh yeah, I'll make sure to wear it.
Appreciate that. So
Chip, by overnight it'll be too late, right? You got that part right.
Well, yeah, I should have said express delivery.
Right.
Yeah, but now I'm ordering things from Amazon, and we're getting it the same day. Like sometimes it's like within 4 hours. It's just crazy. Here in Tampa. Yeah.
Same thing.
It's the Russians.
Yeah.
It's the Russians. Yeah. All right, you guys. I got to get going.
All right,
go do your prep work, Randy. Put some clothes on.
Take care, man.
All right. See ya. I'll send you that email too. All right. So for our fan base, I'm just looking to see Brett. I know that you're talking too with these guys too. So that's nice to see that you're conversing with them.
Yeah. Let's see, Brian Spencer, because I asked that person. I said, what do you mean? It says pigs. So I said, what do you mean? And Brian Spencer said it's a troll. That's the word I was trying to think of earlier.
Okay.
They just come on and they're like seagulls. They come in, they squawk, they poop, and they fly away. That's what they do.
Well, Brett, I had fun at SHOT Show with you. That was definitely, it's 2 years in a row that we've been able to do it. So very fortunate. And
it was fun, but it was exhausting.
I tried to tell Patty, it's like when we used to do Police Week every year, me and Preston, it just drains you. And you and I had maybe a little tougher, I think, because at Police Week, we didn't have to get up that early. And so you and I were waking up at there's a 3-hour time difference, but we're waking up at 6:30 in the morning. And we got to be down there at least by 8 o'clock to set up because we have to be live at 9 o'clock.
Right.
And then doing the equipment, having to pack everything up every day and move it and stuff. And then of course we're up late at night because of all these events and VIP events and stuff. So we're up, past midnight, not getting a lot of sleep. And then just walking everywhere. I mean, I can't imagine how many miles we walked every day.
It was sensory overload.
Yeah. So it really takes a lot out of you.
Really. But, I've already got to, so I passed out some cards and, let them scan. I'm starting to get some responses back.
Good.
People wanting me to get with them. So interesting stuff.
So guys, we are, I'm just going to say one more thing before we kill the feed. We're trying to keep our existing sponsors and then of course, trying to get some additional sponsors from SHOT Show. Gret. That's when you want to say the word Brett and great at the same time. So I say Gret. So, your brain, but, anyhow, Brett was fantastic in helping us, and helping me with sponsors and stuff. And some of the people, we're talking to, and they won't even look at me. They're just looking at Brett, and you pick up on things. It's true. I'm not going to name names. Brett knows one of them. But it just, when you go up to approach people for whatever reason, maybe they think that he's, older, wiser, the guy in charge, doesn't matter. But when you've got that, you use that to your advantage. You don't
near death. That's probably the thing. This guy's near death.
You don't get upset. Just use it. So yeah, Brett brings that to the game, and so he's just got that gun connection too. And then of course, people recognize us from different venues and stuff. So it was a lot of fun. So we'll find out. But I'm saying that to say this: if you guys haven't bought anything from Gauls yet, go to Gauls.com and use that Radio 15 code in order to get 50% off your next order, and that'll track it to us so people know that we're actually people that watch the show are actually buying from Gauls and taking advantage of that. So again, that code is Radio15. Use that, and hopefully we'll be making announcements of some new sponsors, some additional ones that'll be coming in the next week or two. So thanks for the support, guys. We appreciate it. Hope everybody has a safe rest of your day. We will be live again tomorrow. Next week, we're looking good. I do have Mo's surgery coming up, I think, on Wednesday. So Wednesday will probably not be live. But I'll be planning on going back at it with a bandage on the side of my face on Thursday. So anyhow, we'll see you guys tomorrow and then next week.
Did you finally get a donor? Is that why you're having the surgery now?
Man, I wish I had a donor. I wish someone could do that for me because I hate that process. Yeah. So, but blonde hair, blue eyes, and light skin, dude. It's just it's. I don't want to say it's a curse, but that's why, that's why when dated, I always dated the women that had the nice skin that I didn't have. They were always Colombian or, Cuban or,
Yeah, Cuban.
I'm jealous. Yeah.
We'll talk later.
Yeah, we will. All right, guys. We'll let you go, streamers. Thanks for support. MBS over at and Bill BC over at Rumble. Thanks, guys. We'll see you tomorrow.